We good? Let me make sure that the chat could hear clearly.
Yes.
Hold on. We good? Hello, 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 hello. Hear that echo? No, I'm playing. Anyway, hi, Nunu.
Hi.
What you want to say?
Welcome to the Remnant.
Okay, what else? The camera's right there. What else?
That's it.
That's it?
Mhm.
Oh, you're so beautiful. I love you. Give me kisses.
Love you.
Okay, thank you, babe. You want to come? Come on, come on. What you want to say?
Remnant.
Well, welcome to the Remnant.
You're right in the Remnant.
That's what's up, huh? Say peace.
Peace.
All right, good job, boy. Anybody else? Any other kids want to come? Oh man, welcome, guys. Hello, how you doing? Signs and wonders. You require a sign. I'm not gonna wait too much time. I'm gonna get right up into it. Let me say hi to my nephew D. Looking good, young fella.
Appreciate you. You too.
Wife, Queen Naya. She don't like when I call her that, but I call her Queen Naya. First you don't. Mm-hmm. Wife, Dove. How you doing, babe? How you guys doing? Y'all good? Y'all looking good. Well, y'all got me up here looking real powerful around here. I'm ready to go in. Yeah. You ready? Okay. Let me go get it. Normally, I give these off to my nephew, D. Matter of fact, I'm going to give it to him because I'm going to free myself up. Okay, D, I'm going to give you this. I want you to go here first, then here first. I want you to go here first, then there.
Yep.
Okay? Then I want you to go to my pictures. And when you go to my pictures, I want you to go here.
Okay.
All right? All right. Read, D. Y'all used to that, huh? Yeah, okay.
Genesis 15, 12 through 14, AMP.
Excuse me. So before he reads that, signs and wonders, right? Not like Christians talk about signs and wonders, because the class says you require a sign, right? I'm going to break that down to you. But I want to give you some context. It's important that you have context, right? And the context is the history book, who Christians call the Bible. But it's our history book. It's our culture, their religion. So I'm going to give you some context of why this time that we are in is so important. I taught a little bit about this on in the OnlyFans class we had. No, the IG class we had yesterday. But I'm going to follow through because the Remnant felt that you needed to hear this. So we're here. And this stems from Eddie, I think it was last Wednesday, when he talked about the signs that we're about to get into and break down to you why you're in the best time in the history of the world if you're Remnant. Okay, let's go.
Genesis 15, 12 through 14.
Yeah, and I got my vintage suit on today.
Mm-hmm.
See, I like vintage. See, you ain't got
Yeah.
to always wear bespokes. I've been loving vintage suits since I was a shorty, right? They might be 40 years old. You see how they cut the pockets here? I'm just going to see how they cut them pockets here. Yeah, that's that vintage, right? This is that Oscar De La Renta vintage, right? So listen, you can go to the a thrift store. You can do it online. Search on the vintage suit. They got patterns and fabrics that they just don't have today. The way they cut the suits were just different, right? So I like vintage suits. I have a lot of them in my closet, and I just felt I wanted to pop out one day just to show you guys that you can mix it up. We'll do a class again on you know how you put things together, because a lot of men just don't understand, and that's okay. You didn't have nobody to teach you, but Dre here for you. So yeah, I'm vintage today, baby. Oh, and he's sexy too. Yeah, look at the socks. Oh, come on, man.
Uh-oh.
Come on now. You just gotta know how to put it together, baby. You know, it's all a part of feeling empowered. In the Remnant, we say, dress like what you come to do. All praises to the Most High. Read, D, let's go.
Yep. When the sun was setting,
Mm-hmm.
a deep sleep overcame Abraham,
Man.
and a horror, a terror, shuddering fear, nightmare of great darkness overcame him.
He had a nightmare. Have you had a nightmare before? I've had a dream, and I know a lot of people have had this same dream where you fallen. You had a dream with like you fallen,
Yep.
and you can't stop. And you wake up like, oh, like yeah. So, but he was having something that gave him great terror, and he's about to explain. This is important because this is the father of the faith. This is the man that God called from his country and his family to establish a nation, which we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're picking back up where our people left off. So he called him up out of the land of Ur and said to leave your family and leave your peoples and your relatives because I'm going to create in you a new nation. And Abraham believed God. And so now God is telling Abraham about what's about to happen to his descendants thousands of years in the future. Beautiful thing about Abraham, he is the father of the faith, but I like what God, what the Most High called Abraham. He called Abraham his friend. Man, that's powerful. He said, Abraham, my friend. Oh, come on, man. That's powerful. God said he was my friend. Yeah, them is the kind of relationships we have when you get back to your culture. So he's telling his friend something. He already said, listen, I'm going to make a great nation out of you. Now I got to show you some things that are going to happen because you're my friend. Don't you share things with your friend that you don't share with nobody? Yeah, you're going to talk to your friend. You might not even talk to your parents, but you're going to talk to your friend, going to know everything. Right? So he was telling Abraham, listen, I need to tell you something, and it's going to be real troublesome. Because this nation that I'm giving you, in the future, they're going to do some things that's going to cause a situation. And I'm telling you in this beginning because that's the end, right? So I'm showing you and telling you all these things in your beginning, right? And then telling you what it's going to look like in the end. That's beautiful. He skipped over thousands of years and he said, Abraham, I got something to tell you.
Yah said to Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
know for sure.
And nothing nobody can do about it. This is about to be for sure.
For sure.
This is called prophecy. When the Most High God speaks a thing, it goes out and it accomplishes what it sets out to do and never returns void. There is nothing, nobody in all existence that can do anything about prophecy. I want you to keep that in your mind. I said there is nobody and nothing in all existence that can do anything about prophecy. If the Most High has spoken it, nothing can stop it. It will happen. Remember that.
So it shall be.
So it shall be. Let's go.
Know for sure
Mm-hmm.
that your descendants, that's us, will be strangers living temporarily in a land, Egypt, that is not theirs.
So the reason why he said Egypt here, because the writers interjected that. The writers who were translating interjected Egypt. But Egypt interpreted is the place of bondage. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It was not Egypt that he was talking about that is going to happen. Because you're going to hear something here, because I hear Christians often say that what God told Abraham happened with Moses. When our people went into Egypt and stayed there for over 400 years. Because as we read, he's going to tell them the amount of time that they're going to be in this condition. So we're going to read, then I'll come back to that, okay, to give Christians clarity. Let's go.
That is a land that is not theirs,
They're going to be taken into a land that is not theirs. Go ahead, read.
where they will be enslaved
They're going to be enslaved. This is important.
and oppressed
And oppressed
for 400 years.
for 400 years. They are going to, because he told Abraham, know for sure that this is going to happen. They're going to be enslaved and oppressed for 400 years. So when Christians have read this, they thought that this had to be when Moses led our people out of Egypt. But it's inconsistent. Why? Because God said there's going to be a condition that they're in for 400 years. Well, we know about the first 200 and something years when Joseph was leading. He wasn't leading for 200 years, but the effects of his leadership, the honor that was given to Joseph and our people in Egypt, the honor was giving them the best properties, the best lands. And so for around over 200 years, our people had the best of everything in Egypt. They weren't oppressed. They weren't enslaved for over 200 years. All right? Read, D. Listen. All right.
Well, they'll be oppressed for 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
But on that nation,
Watch.
whom your descendants will serve, I will bring judgment.
This is important. I said, listen, you in the remnant have an advantage because you know who you are, right? So the scripture declares, our history book declares that the sons of Issachar understood the times and the seasons. You understand the time and the seasons because you know who you are. Excuse me. You're able to benefit. You're able to ride on prophecy. See, either prophecy will happen for you or against you, but it's going to happen, right? And the fact that you are aware that you are the people in which he has discussed with Abraham, it's going to benefit you and benefit us. It is those out there who are unaware that it will not benefit. Understand that, okay? So it's important that you take on this prophecy for yourselves. As I've told you, the prophecies that he has given me were not just for me, they were for you, right? I was talking to Naya one time and she was like, yeah, because that's for me. Every enemy will see underneath the bottom of the soles of my feet. And I've heard many of you say the same thing. Dove has been knowing it for over 20 years. You have to take it for yourselves, internalize it. It belongs to you. And when you take it for yourself, do you realize that you start operating in the power of God himself? What power is that? That there is nothing in all existence can stop you. See, that's how I operate in my life. I've been to federal prison. I've been on the streets, in the gang. I have had kidney failure twice. I've been on dialysis twice. And I looked at every single thing that I've been through the same. It didn't matter how it made me feel, maybe the dialysis physically, because it physically attacked me, right? And it weakened me. But my resolve never changed. I looked at it the same as I look at anything else because I declared that there is nothing in all existence that can stop the prophecy that was to benefit me, right? So I didn't just say the prophecy was for somebody else. I knew it was for me. When I did police accountability, I was not and did not have the disposition of somebody who has been victimized, and therefore my disposition is anger and I hate white folks and all this kind of thing. I never had that. Why? Because I never felt like I had to help God. Right? So I was more concerned about being God's friend. Come on, man. I was more concerned about his expectations of me. I was less concerned about what they did to us. Why? Because he already told me thousands of years ago I'll handle that. I'll handle that. So I never had to worry about handling it myself. It was never my disposition. I wasn't positioned in that way against people. It allowed me to help all people. Do you understand? See, I said prophecy will either benefit you, work for you, or work against you. When you do not have that, then you have a disposition of hate because you've been wounded and because you've been victimized. You don't have empowerment. You don't have the power of the Most High God running through you. You have the effects of not having it.
Because you don't believe.
You don't know to believe.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know. That's what the remnant is here for you to know. Right? Okay, so now look at. He said, the nation that have done this, I'm going to judge them. So I have said many times publicly, and I know what I'm saying. Listen, we have seen this nation neutralize every black leader, particularly that have risen. We've seen it. We've seen the power of this nation. No matter how brilliant, no matter how organized, no matter how smart. We have seen it. They've made sure that we know it. Right? I have neutralized your greatest thinkers, your most brilliant men. They think that they were able to do it, listen, because they're all powerful. But I'm here to tell you, it was only because the Most High, my God, have given you a season to be in control. That's it, nothing else. I said, my God, our God in the remnant, have given you a season to be in control. And it just so happened that that season was told over 6,000 years ago to the father of our faith. And that season would be 400 years in this country. This is important. And for all those that I said are benefited by the prophecy because of what they know, what we also know is that that season has ended. And when the season ends, your power that was given to you ends too. That allows me to say, in this season, if you make a move towards one of us, I have declared openly, you will die. And the people that initiated it will die. That is a sentence of death that I'm telling you. And later on in this message, you're going to feel the weight of my words different. Okay, go to the next one, D.
You don't want me to read the rest of that?
Go ahead.
And afterwards,
After
he brings judgment,
mm-hmm.
they will come out of the land with great possessions.
That's called reparations. That's what that is. That's called reparations. 6,000 years ago, he said, I'm going to punish them and they're going to pay too. All right? Who got to do that? Do we got to do it?
Nope.
So stop crying about it. You don't need to help him. Just worried about being his friend. That's where your focus needs to be. Let's go.
1 Corinthians 1.
Listen.
22 through 23. Amplified.
In the culture, not your religion, in our culture, I want to show you something. Let's go.
For Jews,
Israelites,
originals,
not those white folks,
demand signs.
For our people,
attesting miracles.
Demand signs, which are, attesting miracles. Now, let me explain to you why. Because Abraham's introduction to God was supernatural. And from Abraham, it has continued. What has continued? The sign. What sign? Of his isness. His isness, yes, that he is alive and he is with us. So he said, because of the way his introduction has been and what he created in us, the oracles of God were given to our people, right? He has sent angels to talk to us. He has sent many spiritual leaders to talk to us. He has appeared through a cloud and a pillar of fire to us and have spoken. There have been attesting signs for thousands of years, and then they stopped.
Hmm.
And then they stopped. We at least know they stopped for 400 years in this country. At least we know they stopped for 400 years in this country. They stopped. And then they began again. And then they began again. I'm going to show you, but I want to place that in your spirit. They began again. Right? So he says that the Israelites require. It's kind of like being used to something, right? And then there is a disposition in the Israelite because God has been, in his isness, has been a part that have made our culture for thousands of years. And what has differed us from any other people is that the Most High God, the God of all existence, the God that hath made heaven and earth, the one that some people don't believe in, has made it his business to make himself real to us. Okay? Okay, D, let's go. So, in 1999, when I was in federal prison, no, I wasn't in prison then, I was in federal holding in North Las Vegas Detention Center. I said it began again. As the Most High have done to our people for thousands of years, he appeared to me. Some of you are like, man, this is sci-fi. It is until I give you the receipt. Until I give you the evidence. What is that? The attesting signs. Somebody said, why would God appear to you and you're in prison? You must have did something wrong and this, that, and the other. Well, do you know that Apostle Paul wrote the majority of the New Testament in prison? Mm. 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 So I was in federal holding, and the Most High God appeared to me. And what did he say?
We demand signs attesting
Nope.
miracles.
Go to
the next
my
one.
book. In my book, The Road to Paradise, that I got published in 2005, I put this appearance in that book. Right? I tried to look for the book today, but Dove, we couldn't find it because
Got
it's
a copy
somewhere
at the house.
packed. Huh?
Got a copy at the house.
Yeah, I know, but well, I didn't know you had it here. I thought I had it in Denver. So anyway, because I wanted you to see the book, right? And I wanted to read from it, but I had posted this passage on my social media years ago when I was doing police accountability, just because my soul was making her boast in the Lord, just because I was telling people, after the event happened, that I'm here on the scene to do this work and you can't do nothing, just because I wanted to poke fun at them, right? Like they done poke fun at us for many years, right? So I was just popping out. So this is a passage from my book, The Road to Paradise, that I got published in 2005.
It was in March of 1999.
Uh-huh.
I was in jail, and God showed me the future in a dream.
Mm-hmm.
I was shown that in 20 years from the time of the dream, at Christmas time, God will cause a star to fall from the sky into the water on earth.
Yeah.
Hell from beneath will be opened up onto the earth. Fire will be everywhere, and people will want to flee from the fire on the land by water. But the star that fell into the water made the water hotter than the land. Everything was very dark from the smoke from under the earth, so that there was no light. This is supposed to happen in the year 2019.
So this appearance, I felt confident enough when I had it in 1999 that I was writing my book while I was in federal holding. And when I got out in 2001, I finished the book up, finalized it. Took me a couple years, but actually got it published. Oh, wow. See there? Look at there. That's it right there. All praises to the Most High God.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of things in here that you can go take a look at, but you can specifically go see that prophecy, right? And know that this book was published in 2005. I thought it was June, if I could. July? Yep. First published by Arthur House, 7/15, 2 days after my birthday, 2005, right? Can you guys see that? Well, you got the general idea, right? So in 2005, I put this in my book. I put the prophecy, which was the appearance, in the book. And I didn't understand for many years everything that he was saying, but there were some key things that he said to me that I would look for. And that key thing was with this fire, which represents judgment, that it would be everywhere. So I would tell Dove, I said, I don't know all the interpretations of what he was telling me, but I do know that it's going to be so significant in 2019 Christmas time that it will be everywhere. I can't miss it. It will be everywhere. So what happened 2019 Christmas time? COVID. So last week, when Eddie was talking about the 400 years, he also explained that COVID was the sign of the ending of the 400 years. Whew. That deserves a clap. I'm trying to tell you. The ending of the 400 years, the ending of these people being able to trample over us, the ending of them being able to kill at will without any consequence, the ending of them having us under their feet, the ending of them neutralizing, the ending of them hiding culture and who we are, the ending of it. And many people that have written my book, when COVID came, they had written the book. They reached out to me from all over the world and says, oh my God, I can't believe it. You said this years ago. Because when God speaks a thing, I know your little Christian preachers always are prophesying about things, your Benny Hinn's and all these charlatans. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy, but I'm saying when you open your mouth and say, thus says the Lord, and then it doesn't manifest, I put you in a category as a charlatan because that's what my history book says to do. What you gonna do about that? What you gonna do about what's in this book decades before it manifested? That I had enough courage to put the prophecy right in this book. No matter what nobody thought about me, no matter what they thought I was crazy, no matter what they thought it was sci-fi. And it manifested before your face. So since I'm giving you prophecy, I'm going to give you another prophecy. Where's my phone at? Oh, right there, ain't it? Hold that, baby. Let me give you something else. Because I like sharing what God told me so that you can be a part of it when you see it manifest, because all it's going to do is make you be where you need to be. Fear the Most High God. Okay, so This was, what was this? This was Saturday, November 30th. And this was 2024. Yeah, this was 2024, Saturday, November 30th. And it was in the morning. And I called a little brother of mine because they talk about this often, and I wanted to give him some clarity. And then I did a video to the country so that I could have the evidence that we talked about it many years, like I got the evidence in my book that I prophesied it many years. So this is what the Most High said to me. The Most High showed me that China will go to war with the US. He didn't tell me when, but he gave me something real specific about this. He said they wouldn't have any allies, that they would do it by themselves. That China would go to war with the US and they will do it by themselves, no allies. I don't know why, maybe because they don't want to trust another ally because they think it might be a leak, get back to the US. That's all I could think. But I am saying, remember this day, which is the 1st of October, 2025, that I again shared with the world that China will, just like I shared in 1999 and I got it published in 2005, what would happen 2019 at Christmas time. And if you go right now to Google and look it up, ask when they discovered COVID, and it'll say 2019, like 28th or the 27th of December, Christmas time. That's how specific he was. So I'm being specific with you again and sharing with you prophecy, because I said that there is nothing no one in the universe can do to stop prophecy. Because what it is an indication to his people that we're back. It is the indication that we are back. And so, like I said, I saw my end. I saw, and I've shared with the remnant, I know the song that's going to be playing at my funeral. But what God showed me is before it's time for me to come and be with my friend, that I would have accomplished every single thing that I set out to do perfectly. He even told me I would write my own obituary because I'm going to know when I'm leaving up out of here. This is why I'm telling you, you can't stop me. You can't beat me. You can't defeat me. You can do nothing but see underneath the bottoms of the soles of the remnant's feet, and you're going to see it because we're back. You're about to see. Yeah. This ain't for everybody. This is just for those who could hear. My sheep know my voice, and another they will not follow. Just for the specific, because we're only here for the remnant. Don't care what nobody think. Didn't care what nobody thought when I put it in the book, The Prophecy. Didn't care when nobody felt that I would be able to lead this whole country in police accountability. Yet I was born from a pimp and a prostitute. That couldn't stop that we're back, though. That couldn't stop it. And you won't stop it. But with your very eyes, you're going to see. Because we will not stop until every single one of our enemies sees underneath the bottom of the soles of our feet. I already said there's sentences of death out there. I dare you to try. I got to be a bold something, because you think I don't know how powerful you've been. I know exactly how powerful you've been. I know that you go to other countries and take their leaders up out of their countries and bring them to this country and take their leaders and put them in jail in this country. I know that you set up kingdoms and you take them down. Where there was a man by the name of Nebuchadnezzar, who God called a servant only because he was in the will of the Most High because of my people being in rebellion. And God sent that man to conquer our people. Because of our rebellion, you're only a part of the plan. That's all you've ever been. I'm not impressed with how powerful you think you've been. It doesn't move me one bit. We're back, baby. I want you to know that. Boldly declaring it. Look at my repertoire. You could never defeat me back then when you had a little action at me. How you gonna defeat me now? It's war around here. Not no war with no pistols. You think I'm gonna reduce my God to tell my people to take up arms? No. This is a war of words, baby. Yeah, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against spiritual wickedness in high places, against the rulers of darkness of this world. Them same rulers that were instituting your authority and your power. My God just blinked his eye for a season and let you do it, but we're back now. You ain't talking to a man who ain't got the receipts to prove my words. Look at my record. Do your study and see. I'm here to raise our people about their gutters. Give them this information. Let them know who they really are. In the land of our captivity, he said we will remember ourselves. We might be just talking to one person out of 10,000, and you're just that worth it to us. Just you. Because we're only here for the remnant. The value is you. Out of 10,000, God is talking to you. Can't you feel it? Don't you feel it in your body? Aren't you tired of being reduced? Aren't you tired of being stepped on? Aren't you tired of not having any information on how to overcome the adversary in your life? Aren't you tired of the deficiencies you see in your own character and you don't know what to do about it? Aren't you tired of feeling dirty because of your behavior and how you move towards your friends, your family, your girl? Aren't you tired? Well, you can come out from among all of that and be the giant that the Most High has called you to be in the earth. We are the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath. That's who you're supposed to be. I ain't never backed down one bit. Even when I was in the streets, you know, from American Pimp, I stood there underneath a life sentence and never flinched because I had prophecy on my side. And I knew it was impossible for the government to give me life in prison because prophecy had already been with me. I saw them coming way before they surveillanced me. And while they were trying to give me life, I was sentenced in 2000 and came home 2001. And I went to trial. Go look it up for yourself. They can't stop me. And they can't stop the remnant. If you can't feel that, yes, of course you're dead. But you're a valley of dry bones that we're trying to speak life into.
You pop out, huh?
Don't you want to be somebody? You let this system dictate to you what's valuable, what's special. You let them do it. And they had the power for a season. But the scripture in our history book says, until the time of the Gentiles have ended. That means there's an end. And the end was 2019, baby.
All praises.
So you ain't talking to nobody who ain't got the evidence. All kind of people out there continuing to talk. They think they got the answers. But anytime they face these white boys, they've been submitted. But who submitted the white boy? Me! Had them all up underneath my leadership. Governors, police, senators. Go check the record. I'm popping out. Because you need to hear it. because you ain't never seen it. You might have seen a rapper, a little celebrity, ball player, an actor, whatever. You might have seen them have a little money. They'll let you have some money, but they'll never teach you how to conquer them. They'll never teach you how to conquer them. Well, that's what we teach in the remnant, how to conquer them. I don't care what money you got. I don't care what your conversation is. If it hasn't reached to the level that you can overcome the white supremacy that has humbled you, defeated you, slaughtered you, it means nothing to our people. Produce something that can take care of that, then you got something. And that's what you should be expecting, black man, black woman, native, Latino. That's what you should be expecting. But you don't even know who you are. Thank God I do. And I live it and walk it every day in my life. And I teach it. I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to a billion people, but it's only you specific ones that could hear it. That can know it. It resonates with you. You could feel the tug in your spirit. You always knew you were something bigger than the condition that you find yourself in. But you didn't have no information because he hadn't delivered his words yet, but he has now. So I'm telling you, you are absolutely right, young woman. You're bigger than your condition that you found yourself in. Young man, you're bigger than the condition that you find yourself in. Come out from among that indoctrination. Come out. Learn what true value is. Learn what God values in life. The God that they have sold you, he's dead. He was never meant to work for you, young man, young woman. That's why it hasn't worked for you. But oh, this God that I got. Whoo! He's sure working for me. He's sure working for me. You see? Not that I'm saying that you ain't going to be challenged, but you're challenged with a disposition of conquering. So you don't have to fall to the challenge. That's all it is. Something to get past. Somebody says that you value, got a napkin around here. I know that the indoctrination has taught you that the most valuable thing is having you some money and you celebrate billionaires and all these kind of little folks. I don't teach the remnant that. I never teach the remnant about, thank you, about, give me some more, honey, yeah, about, somebody said, well, you know, they got a song of, I just want to be a billionaire so bad. But that's not big enough. Because I teach everything in the remnant is just a tool. Everything in the remnant, everything, money, all those things are just tools. See, once you know who you are and you really have the Most High in your life, and then everything begins to be compared to the great God that you have, right? And it becomes insulting to you to begin to elevate what the world has told you where their importance is, right? It's just a tool. That's all. Money is just a tool. Everything is just a tool once you know who you are. When you don't know who you are, it's your value system. And where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Because that's all you know. Because they've sold you their culture and their way of thinking. Because you were in the world without knowing who you are. But I'm telling you, once you have your culture back and you understand the oracles of God, what he had given to us initially, and all those things become really small. I've been in mansions, I've been in a shelter. Same thing. Same thing. Because the man and the God that I had never changed. King David was in a cave. I just want you to understand the history of how he thinks about what's value. It was David's disposition in the cave that brought him the value. right? It wasn't what the world teaches you that brings the value, having the mansion. Do you understand? It was his disposition in the cave. Well, what was his disposition? Well, I'm in the cave with my God, and we just gonna kick it. Whoop-de-doo. Right? Whatever the purpose he want me to be here in this cave, it's just like a mansion to me because I haven't changed and the God that I have doesn't change. See, you don't have that because everything that you have has to do with the value of money, and you see yourself valuable through what they have taught you value is. See, the country talks about capitalism where the value is in what you have, money. They teach you that a woman won't like you unless you got some money. Well, why would you want a woman like that anyway? Right? But in the remnant, the most valuable thing about a man is his commitment to his God. That's what's valuable. That's why I'm so valuable. Your woman that's with you because you got some money, if I happen to want her, and I don't because I got these two beautiful wives here, but your woman's going to be susceptible to running into a real man who really knows what his value is. She ain't never been in front of a man like me before. When a woman gets in front of a man who finds his value through his God, there are certain things in him because he has lined up to the beginning of how God orchestrated man and women to be. He orchestrated it with man first before her having his relationship with his God, right? There's nothing that she's going to value. But you're saying, no, man, all these women just want the money. She ain't had a man around there that knows who he is and then has his commitment towards his God. You wouldn't know. I know. She ain't never had that. You see, you don't understand that when the man aligns himself, there are things that open in her that's dead that you couldn't open, even with all your money. When the man of the Most High, a man that stands before his God, and he's developed through what we call a salting process. There's a disposition in him like his God. You know that God that made the woman? Yeah, him. There's a disposition in him. And he has those same characteristics of his God, right? And she might have just been looking at you because you got some money or you got some celebrity and you got some fame. But she's dead too.
Mm.
That's all she could see because she's dead too. Both of you are dead. And to a man or a woman that's alive comes into her vicinity. And the whole dang graveyard wakes up. That's what I'm trying to do to you out there. Wake
Don't throw that alarm clock in there.
butt up. I'm done talking. Who's next? Come on.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Baby.
I ain't seen you, man.
I know.
Huh?
Hey,
Been working, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, go put that work in, though. Go ahead and give me that business.
Yeah, so today, talking about how 2019, it's like the curse was lifted, right? And last night, I was in the information, reading scriptures, and the Holy Spirit put on me that you haven't really told your story yet, because Dre has taught us that tell your story before the enemy does. And it really hit me pretty hard, man. I was shedding some tears about it. And so we know that the Most High moves in multiples of three. And so Dre, we in the remnant, we know that the Most High appeared to him when he was 16 and told him, I will be the only one on your right hand. Everyone else will be on your left, right? And so we know that the 400-year curse was put on us. Okay, so we come over here in 1619. So within the curse, when Dre was 16, the Most High appears to him within the curse, and okay, he's developing in the information, and he's growing in it, and now he talks about how when he was in prison, and he would tell the guys like, hey, get this information while I'm here, I'm just passing through, right? And to know that it was individuals that could have got the information from Dre, and to be able to walk with the Most High within the curse is just, it's shame on you, man. Just shame on you. You was able to get the information within the curse, and with the curse being lifted in 2019, okay, so within that curse, I'm born in 1997, right? And so, I grew up with my mother and my sister. And, when I was very young, I had some timidity in me when I was very young. And I'd be having conversations with my mom about what's going on, back home and whatnot, while I'm out here. She'd be telling me everything that's going on, and I just be telling her that everything that's transpiring out there is just the results from the curse that we were in. It's the results of that. So all that little petty stuff, all that, the robberies, the killings, the just all of that is a result from the curse that we were in, right? And okay, so like I said, I'm born in 1997, and as I'm growing up, I got some timidity in me, and I never wanted to be like, no gangster dude or nothing like that. But I was always a kid that I wanted to go outside. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to have fun. I wanted to play and stuff, right? And as I go outside and I'm growing up, things start to transpire. Cash trying to like, get at me, bother me and stuff like that. So now I'm, like I said, I never wanted to be a tough guy. Like now I'm getting into fights. I'm having to defend myself. I want to keep it cool. I'll warn a cat, like, listen, man, I don't want no problems. I was never that guy. I never was the type to boast about the things that I was doing, because that's just how I was. But I as I got older, I knew that I was in survival mode, right? A lot of our people are still in survival mode, right? And so, I'm getting a little older now. I'm experiencing things, and I get in middle school, and we I was with my mom, and like I said, it was me, my mom, and my sister, right? And my mom, she worked so hard. She did what she could to make sure we had clothes and stuff like that. It was even times where Christmas time will come around, and she'll like pawn stuff just so we can have, just so we can look good, you know what I'm saying? And so I used to dress fly, you know what I'm saying? And cats like what I was wearing. So, as I get in middle school, and we go, like we went somewhere, me, my mom, my sister, we get back, the door like look open. And you know, we go in the house, we realize the house done been broken into, right? And so, they done stole all my stuff, stole my clothes, and stealing my clothes, stealing some shoes, some boots that, I was rocking to school, and I knew who they was. I knew the cats that did it. And so now I see that happening. Now I want to take stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's okay. Okay, cats take it from me. I'm gonna take stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And just as I got into high school, like now I have this disposition of like I'm not really I'm trying to survive, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm knowing that my mom is, doing what she gotta do to take care of me and my sister, you know what I'm saying? And I just get to a point to where, I'm figuring stuff out for myself, and I never wanted to go to college because I didn't like school at all. I didn't even like high school. I did the bare minimum so I could pass. You know what I'm saying? My GPA was terrible. My GPA was a 1.6. I graduated with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's very low to somebody, but we know that the wisdom of man is foolishness to the Most High. So I can say that proudly because I got the information that I got now. It ain't nothing. Yeah, it was 1.6. You know what I'm saying? It was 1.6. Yeah. And yeah, so and now I start to, I'm getting a little older. I'm trying to figure things out, and I started having a tree. You know what I'm saying? Like now I wanna, and I was the type of person, like I said, I never boasted about the things that I was doing. So I just did it quietly as I could. I never was trying to be a gangster. I never was trying to be that dude to let everybody know what I was doing. I just was trying to make money because I was in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to do what I do and just get out the way. And over time, I ended up leaving that alone, and I realized now it was because of the maverick spirit that I had in me. When you're doing things like that, you eventually got to come together, with more individuals so you could grow what you're doing, right? And I got to a point where I was like, nah, because I was like, nah, I don't really want to mess with it like that. If I gotta sit here and deal with all these cats, I really don't want to do it. And I get into like trying to now I'm operating in some deceit. Now I'm operating in manipulation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that because I start to indulge into things with money and other aspects. I'm trying to get money faster. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do other things, right? And I would when I was growing up, with my mom, I was extremely disrespectful to my mom. I was, and I'm still apologetic to her to this day about how I was operating towards her because I believe that, I seen because my father was locked up since I was one, and I used to see and how he would talk to her. You know what I'm saying? And the conversations he would have, just it was always some aggression. He was always arguing with her, and she just trying to, let him know what his son is up to and stuff like that. He just be all snappy. So I believe I felt that was okay to do. And once I got into the information, I realized like, okay, we know the scripture says that honor thy parents and your days shall be long. And so that's the reason why I'm so apologetic today to my mom, because I know how I used to make her feel, all the stuff she used to do for me and my sister. And I was continuously disrespectful to her, you know what I'm saying? And, we have a great relationship now, but yeah, so I'm starting to do like things manipulative and stuff like that, and operate in deceit. And I never, like my mom, she was being disrespected, and I never have struck a woman, but I have been aggressive with women, and it just I wasn't taught to be a man. It's just the stuff that I seen growing up, and I felt that it was okay to do, you know what I'm saying? But I never just struck a woman, and it time goes on, and it is so now I'm starting to I'm trying to figure out this money stuff. I'm trying to make money. So I start to trade. Yeah, I start to trade, and I found out. So I found out how to do that, and so I started putting my focus on that because I'm like, okay, this is something that is legal. This is something that I can focus on and try to make some money from, right? And so in 2019, that curse was lifted, right? And around that time, we know that the money is just a tool, like Dre was saying. But when I was doing it for some time, and it was after 2019 that I had a little time of success in it, and I realized that like, wow, that did happen. That's when I moved down to Miami with me and my lady. That was after 2019. So I'm like, okay, I see a little light in there, a little like, because 2020 is when February 2020 is when I moved to Miami. And now I'm down there, and in trading, I had a day where I profited 28,000 like in one day. And that's so from where I come from, that's like a lot of money to profit. You know what I'm saying? And so I see a little glimpse of that, but then I end up losing it. And it's like I believe that the Most High was giving me like a little, showing me that it's really not all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, and I say that because when that happened, I was doing little stuff. Me and my lady, we was kicking it. We was going to Heat games and all that. You know what I'm saying? We was having fun, right? And then things just started to go south with it. But as time went on, now I'm back. I'm still in this survival mode. So I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to figure out ways to make money. And I never took from nobody that I love. I never did nothing to nobody that I love. But if I didn't love you, yeah, I probably took something from you. You know what I'm saying? I did. And time goes on, and I'm trying to figure out a career. I'm trying to find out things to do, right? And so I'm trying to figure out things to do. So now I get a CDL, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the road driving trucks and stuff like that. And I'm constantly just looking for, I'm trying to find out more information. I'm trying to figure out things. And I just feel that it was that timing of me getting to that brokenness, when just me going through, me having that day of profiting and stuff like that. And it's like I said earlier, Dre was 16 when the Most High appeared to him. The information didn't come across my path until I was 26. You know what I'm saying? So all that time that I was trying, because I be thinking about that. I'm like, it was like I be feeling like I had the opportunity to be rich, and before, but it's like you wouldn't have got this information. You would have been where you was thinking so highly because you had money and stuff like that. But no, the Most High allowed that to be stripped away from you. He didn't let you do that because it wasn't your time, and yet it ain't time for all that. It ain't time for that tool. It's not time for that tool yet. I let you get a little taste, but it ain't time for that because I need you to be broken before me as though you were dead. I need that out of you. I need that out of you. So I come into the information when I'm 26 years old. Like I said, the Most High moves in multiples of 3, man. So I just been just sitting on that and just thinking like how the Most High, the timing of the Most High, right? And like what I said earlier, the people that had the opportunity to be around Dre, and they didn't take the information, they didn't grasp onto it, they didn't want to get the life, they didn't want to walk with the Most High and get this information within the curse. Now the curse is lifted. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I wanted to share, just my story, because I feel like, I get up here and talk, but I haven't been able to express that. And it feels good to just release that up off me, man. So that's all I wanted to share, man.
Love you too. Come on, Brandon. Come on. Sorry. Good, man. Just the owner of Costco right here.
So there's been something on my spirit that I just want to get out there. And it's like a feeling of warfare. It's like it's always a state of warfare with us, but it's like it's amped up to another level now because of the timing that the Most High has. And so when I be in the spot or whatever, the cave, it'd be a feeling of like, okay, are you ready? Are you ready to believe what the Most High has put in front of you as far as the prophecies is concerned? Are you ready to they're going to try to come and say that, oh, this is not what it's going to be. But are you ready to go and give the enemy the task that it needs to be done in order for you to move to that next level? So where your faith is undeniable. It's not something that you have to pester about. Because the whole time I'm just like, that's the feeling that he was giving me the whole time. I'm like, the enemy has been in the earth to do so many things as far as our people is concerned. And even just, I know it's a spiritual thing and the Most High allowed it to happen, but are you going to let that go? They can't get away. They're not going to be able to, how do I want to put this? It's a, how you say, are you going to believe? Are you going to believe or you not going to believe? Are you going to make your boast in me when the time comes? Or are you going to be somebody that's going to be a shrinking violet when the times comes? Dre already mentioned some of the prophecies that come to pass. We know the prophecies of the remnant, and some of the prophecies, I already mentioned it, was one day we're gonna buy banks and football will be like dog races. Another one is we're gonna hold a church that holds 25,000 people. Right. Another one is we're gonna have a magazine called Critique. Another one is we're gonna have a high luxury mall called International Corner. And these things have to come to pass, and these are the things that strengthen the endurance and the faith to know, because even while I'm in the cave, I'm like, okay, I'm in the cave. Things are not the way they're the way they should be. I'm with my God, and He's strengthening me every time I'm in that environment. It's a process, it's a salting process, and I know that that's the strength that's what's going to lead me to eventually those things. Those things are already done. But during this meantime, I got stuff for you to focus on. I got stuff for you to be salted out of, so that when the time comes, it's like this. You're not going to even hesitate when they attempt to try to come and stop the prophecy of the Most High God. They're never going to ever able to come to me and say, my God doesn't exist. I already have that in me as of now. All as we move forward is going to be something that's going to be undeniable. And the last thing I wanted to, I think I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
So Brandon kind of concluded part of what I was going to speak on. Key was making me think about some of this stuff, and sharing, and some of the things he shared about kind of provoked a little bit of what I'm going to share right now. Most people would have no idea, and I never ever really talk about this. I've talked about it recently with a couple of my loved ones, only because my uncle put me on blast in the class one day. But the average person would have no idea the plights that I have to deal with in my daily life, right? Responsibilities, the financial hardships, all of that. You just wouldn't see it on me. Tay Donta, good partner of mine in class. He's Remnant. I remember one time we were having a disagreement, and he was kind of dealing with some things. And in that, we had kind of got off the phone. We had got off the phone with each other because of a heated conversation. And I remember he called me back, and he said, "Man, I apologize. I've just never had a partner like you before." And he proceeded to say that because we met here in Seattle in like 2005 or 6. And when I met him, I was going through it, right? It was all bad. Sleeping on some of my partner's couches, try to stay with my mom for a little while. That wasn't working. Had to go stay here, stay there, sometimes in my truck, right? 4 months behind on my car note, getting repo letters, everything. And he had no idea until about a year and a half later, once I started kind of getting everything back together. Now, when we had this conversation and we got off the phone and he ended up calling me back shortly, this is probably 10 years after we met. And one of the things he said to me was that, you know, when I met you, you didn't have nothing. And now you have everything, right? Just talking about, financial stuff, material stuff. He's like, but you never changed. He's like, you one of the only cats, if not the only, is what he said to me, who didn't change when they got some money. So I told him, I said, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard this, and a lot of people say this, that you got to be the same whether you got $10 or $10 million. I was taught this my whole life growing up, right? Every man in my life, whether they fell short or not, they definitely did not change with the circumstances of having a whole bunch or a little bit of money, whether they had a little bit and got a lot or had a lot and got down to a little bit. So it's nothing to cry about, because now I've gone from having an excessive amount to living day to day right now, to having to figure it out, right? And it's not something that bothers me like it would bother the average person, even with a tremendous amount of responsibilities, because I've been in worse situations, right? But nevertheless, in those worst situations, I didn't have something as strong as I have now. It was always there, but how I got it now is completely different. This relief doctrine will allow you to see your way through anything, to see your way with complete confidence in knowing, not believing, but knowing that your God will bring deliverance from a situation, that everything is only for a season. Whatever it is shall pass. It doesn't matter your circumstances. It doesn't matter if it's financial. It doesn't matter if it's health. It doesn't matter if it's a relationship that you feel like needs to be mended. It doesn't matter if it's just brokenness within yourself, right? Everything passes. Everything is just a season. The only thing that is guaranteed to go on for an eternity is the love that the Most High has for us, that He keeps with us, right? Because He's given us our eternity through our submission and obedience to Him. I'm not saying that it's an easy thing. All I'm saying is that most people would never realize the things I'm going through, because I'm always focused on my God, right? I'm always focused on that, keeping a good attitude, even when things aren't going your way. What's the point of doing anything less? Anything less than that is disbelief. Anything less than that is not knowing. What's the point of having all this powerful information, gaining all of this knowledge, just to lose yourself to the world? For what? Because things are rough, things are hard, a bill is late, maybe the refrigerator isn't as full as you want it to be. Maybe you can't help somebody the way that you normally do. Maybe you got to ask for some help, right? Me and my loved one Elijah was just talking about this. It takes a big person to give, right? It does. Most people in the world are very greedy. We don't celebrate Christmas, but I do like Christmas time. I've heard my uncle say this, and I like it for the very same reason. Because during Christmas time, even though we don't celebrate it, people are just more giving. They're more joyful, they're more helpful to each other. I like to see that in the world, right? There's not enough of that. It sucks that it's only for a season out of every year, but I'm happy that it is for at least that season. In the remnant, it's like that 24/7. Everyone here rushes to give. Everyone here. We don't really do statistics, but I want to share a couple. The 85%, that system that my uncle went up against, that he went to trial against, 85% of the federal inmate population is locked up behind a snitch's testimony. 85%. Right? Now in the streets, there's a code, right? No snitching, no telling. If you in the streets, you're supposed to live and die by that thing. But that lets you know how many guys out there aren't operating in manhood. 85%. That means every time that you do a transaction in the streets, there's an 85% chance that you're gonna get told on to end up behind bars. That's the small amount, right? That 15% is a small amount of people in the streets operating with integrity, operating with loyalty, with respect, with honor, operating their manhood, man or woman, right? That just lets you know what's out there in the world. And that's just the streets. You know, a lot of people, especially in the Black community, think that when you hop into business stuff, real estate, other business deals, that everything somehow gets better, that things are smoother and people are more respectful and more honorable, but that's not true. Most business dealings are just as bad as the streets, if not worse. People are grimy because it's in their nature, because they operate with a lack of man. They operate with a lack of woman. That's just how the world is today. So to be here in the remnant amongst men and women, where every single person operates with a high level of these principles, with a high level of character, not to be pleasing to any one of each other, not to be pleasing to me or to my uncle or to my aunt, but because this is who we choose to be before our God, is a beautiful blessing in my life, especially spending over 2 decades of my life not letting anybody in, right? My uncle, my aunt, my dad, my mom. I love you. If you ever watch these, um, you know, very few people. And so for the Most High to bring this information, for the Most High to call on my uncle to deliver this down, and for everyone here who has stepped up to the task of operating in their life in areas that the average person just couldn't fathom. I remember one time I was talking to my kid's mom's dad. Me and his daughter, we're not together anymore, but we were having a disagreement. And he was talking to me about it. We had left to get some food, and I was explaining to him my disposition as a man and how I operate with his daughter. He told me, I don't know anybody that operates like that. I said, these are the kind of men that raised me. So, and he's a pastor. And so for him to tell me, being a pastor, that he doesn't know anybody who operates like that, that's rough. That's rough. A pastor in the church, and you don't know anybody who operates with honor, loyalty, respect, integrity, and dignity, and they're willing to die. There's no in between. It's either be that level of man or die. And you don't know anyone that operates like that, and not trying to force these things on your woman, but governing in your manhood, leading in your manhood, understanding the things that she has to deal with in her life, showing up in her life even when things aren't going right, not to be pleasing to her, not because it's a happy wife, happy life, but because this is the man that you choose to be in your life daily. And like I said, to be up in here in the remnant with these kind of men, this level of men, to watch the women up in here stand up like they did. Who got up here? Cassie and Greatness got up here, and some of the other women popped out in one of our classes. To see that level of womanhood is just, like I said, a great honor to me. It's a great honor for me. I'm humbled to be here in a space where a grown man in the church can tell me he's never seen this before. Now, we haven't talked for many, many years, but nevertheless, I remember this conversation like it was yesterday. We are here to set the precedent right? We are here to do something that the world has never seen before, but the Most High already prophesied before we were even formed in the womb that we would be here doing like we are right now. He said that as he delivers us after the 400-year curse, and the 1/3, the remnant, comes up out of there with great possessions, the other 2/3 will die off, not because they don't have the information, but because they don't operate in the information. We got a lot of Israelites out there, a lot of camps out there, very radical, yelling at people in the corner, predominantly yelling at white folks in the corner, talking about you're going to be my slave. You can't take that disposition of hatred in your heart and present yourself before your God and expect him to show up for you. All that preaching, all that screaming, all that yelling, just for you to show up and the Most High to say, depart from me, you doer of iniquity, for I have never known you. For I have never known you. We don't hate anybody. We don't even dislike anybody. I mean, you're just not that valuable. Right? You're just not that important to us for us to put that kind of energy, you know? So the love and the camaraderie and the transparency, the openness that everyone shares, the relationships I see being built of brotherhood, of love between grown men, the relationships I see being built between men and women who came in the remnant together, and unionships that are made in the remnant is amazing. And we don't care how the world feels about it, because the only thing that we're focused on, the only thing that I'm focused on is my God. And oh, that hit me so powerful today. I've read it, but when Unc said, I just want to be God's friend. I'm just trying to be his friend. You know what I'm saying? Can I holler at my partner one time? You know, that's where I'm trying to be at with the Lord. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Calm, steady, even keel. You've heard it plenty of times. Drinking water, chopping wood, walking in the cool, as my loved one Joseph would say, in the cool of the night, in the cool of the day with the Most High. I love y'all. I love y'all. Put you on there. Got it. Appreciate you. So.
What's going on, Remnant? To the rest of the world. What's that word? Today, I just wanted to start it off. This conversation I had with my mother earlier, and I was explaining to her how this journey that I'm on, that I'm out here, is bigger than a plan that I would have back in the city, back home in Detroit. So, and I broke it down to her like this. I feel like a flower that's in a pot, or I felt like a flower that was in a pot, that the pot wasn't big enough for me to keep growing. My leaves were falling, my petals were dying. I was just in that same condition and circumstance the whole time, doing the same thing over and over. No matter how much water, sunlight, it's just, I had no growth. Then I had to make a jump, come out of here to a bigger pot, more information, more people aligned in that same information. And now I'm being able to grow. Now my roots are being able to spread out. You know, and I can release my measures more than I can, rather than just, I would say, worldly competitions. Who got the better this? Who got the better that? Who got the cutest girl? All of this and all of that. Most money, all of that. And I would like to piggyback off of what Dre mentioned earlier and what Keith said too as well. So Dre said that David was in the cave. Right now, that's where I'm dwelling at. I'm in that cave, and I talked to Brandon earlier. He had that disposition, you know. Wherever I'm at, you know, I got a good attitude. It don't matter, because I know that the promise and I know the prophecy that will be, you know, taken care of. I said, okay, yeah, I hold that too as well. But I had another conversation with a cousin of mine. He was like, man, I like how you move, and like you went out there, you just gave it, you know what I'm saying? You just gave it God and let things work out for you. I said, yeah, you gotta have that faith. You gotta have that. If you don't got that, then
you battling against Satan, the devil, every single day, and then you got to see if you got the endurance to even do that. So he was just asking questions like, "How do you pray, man? How do you do this? How do you do that?" I'm like, honestly, I stopped praying like a beggar. Like it was a video that was shared to me, and I was noticing like, man, I used to be like, God, please, can you get me out of this? And please, 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 like, so it's kind of like he'll come to you, but why not just please him in the beginning, and then your prayers are just your acts of him, the things that you want to manifest or to see to come about. So with that, he wants you to be fruitful. He wants you to rule over your domain and things of that sort. And then he also asked me, like, man, what's your motivation? So I got this, and I told him like, yeah, a couple of the brothers, they'll go up there, they'll say who they competition with. In the Bible, they'll pick somebody in the history book. So I'm like, I had to think who my competition would be, and I picked David. And I picked David because I feel like subconsciously I already conquered two other people in the history book already. The first person I conquered was the first man that was spoke to in Genesis, Adam. Adam had a flaw of accountability. It was the woman that you gave me. And I would hold that disposition with the women that I would meet. I will meet them where they are and expect other things to come up out of them and not be able to pass that test. As far as with Samson too as well, I felt like I defeated that or defeated that battle with him. His battle was more so the distraction of the woman. I just want to lay up with you. I do whatever for you. I'll tell you my deepest secret, my biggest flaw, my weakness. I tell you where the power of my God gives me comes from. And that was his downfall. So I had to flip that disposition. And the craziest thing about it, I gotta go back home in a couple of weeks, take care of some business. But how things are moving and how I feel like I'm not being tested, but just seeing where I'm gonna go with it. So I'm smiling, but I didn't have a smile on my face when it happened. My whole wallet got stolen. Last Saturday, had a passport, social, because I just did some business, signing up for something. All my credit cards, debit cards, all this little information. I got the passport book from somebody that passed on and all of this. So it was every reason to be like, man, this might not be what I signed up for and all of that. But the old me, that disposition would have been like, yeah, I'm about to go back to my comfort zone. That was that. I just watch y'all on my phone. I'll watch y'all on my TV. Y'all deal with that. But I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna dig my feet a little bit further in that sand, so when the waves come, I'm still steady. And it was something else that I wanted to mention too as well. Oh yeah, to say on that, it was a test. Like two different female friends back home hit me up today, and it was crazy because I haven't even been speaking to them, none of that, planting no seeds or nothing. And one of them like put up a note. I don't know if the camera can see it, but it was directly towards me. I don't know if she got wind that I was coming back home, or this was just super random. But it's just Tim, and team, Timmy. So usually the old me spreading myself thin like Samson would, just be ready to lay up with something. I would have put that on the floor when I get back home first night. Cool, you just picked me up from the airport and then boom, 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 or whatever. So that was that. That's easy to ignore. The other one was a young lady called me. I'm at the library. I didn't miss my ride to get out here, so now I got to find another ride to get out here. And I'm keeping a good attitude the whole time. And she like, yeah, I'm surprised you ain't finding nothing out there. You ain't knocking nothing down and all of this. So I'm like, my response to her was, I understand that, but that's what she was like, you a man, right? That's what I expect from a man. I'm like, yeah, that's what you expect from a common man. Like right now, I'm a remnant man. and that has different principles. Now I have a virtue to protect myself. Not only do the woman has a virtue that you want to protect, and she has to be as rubies and everything that it states and all of that, but I have my own values and foundation that I got to uphold for myself, even for you to reflect that towards me. And and to what Key was saying, he was like, I didn't get this information until I was 26. Da, 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 da. Not to do it like that, but I didn't get the information until I was 33. And he mentioned the threes again. Those are significant to me. The threes represent, I don't want to get it wrong. Bear with me. The threes represent completeness. Jonah was in the belly of a fish for 3 days. Paul prayed 3 times. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, or Yahweh. So God's presence reflects in threes, His perfection, and you being fully conformed and established. So with that, I go back to my competition with David, and I feel like once I strike down this Goliath, this whole oppressive battle or enemy that I got with the world, of me trying to go back and forth, being double-minded, whatever the case that is with that, and I'll get my rewards. I'll get my wealth that he received. I'll get my wife from a king, and I'll get my freedom from taxes. And it's funny, is we're in a state that has no income tax already. So a part of that is already being serviced. If I just stay out here, keep putting in this work, and like Andre said, keep on pressing the team, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing. I'm gonna keep on pressing, and then that's it. Oh yeah, last thing. My bad. Andre did mention, like, yeah, I'm not gonna have you hold up no arms to go against the flesh, and that used to be something that I used to hold dear to me when I was out there doing my thing. Like, yeah, ain't nobody gonna mess with me, blase speed, all of this. So I used to carry, a Smith and Wesson on my hip to shoot. Now I got a camera on my hip, and I'm so proud to be doing that in a good way. Yeah, that's it.
Popping out on him. Signs and wonders, right? So let me tell you about my signs and wonders before even coming into the remnant. So I remember I was in class one time and they were talking about dreams. The brothers, sisters was talking about how they had certain dreams. And I'm just like, Most High, where are my dreams at? I come home and all I do is close my eyes and wake up the next day, right? So it's just a thing with dreams. I never seem to remember them because apparently we all have dreams, but some of us don't remember. So for me, I asked for that, right? I was like, Most High, give me a dream. Hit me with something, you know? So this is a sign, right? That night, I had a dream. And I couldn't just wait for the next day because I woke up, couldn't wait to share it with the remnant and even ask Uncle Andre what it meant, right? So in this dream, I'm somewhere dark. It's a dark place. There's a house. There's me and someone else. And out of nowhere, like, we just start running because there's lions outside this house. And there's a fence outside. And my partner who was with me, I don't know who it was. I just know it was somebody that was with me. He runs. And he runs one way, I run the other. And he gets to safety, right? And I could just feel like the lion, like, There's, I don't know how many, but there was a bunch of lions just coming at me. And I'm digging, I run, I go into this bush, and I could just feel like, the smell of the lion and just the roar, just digging to get me, right? Just digging to get me. And I don't remember quite if that person that was out there yelled and said, "They're coming for you." So there's these dogs in the back of my mind that they're running down to come and save me, right? The dream stops. So I ask the remnant, I ask Uncle Andre on this class. He gives me some clarity. And I just continue on, right? Can continue on with my life and continually wondering, like, when is my time to come to the remnant? Because I do have some legal stuff that's holding me back. And I'm talking with the Most High, and I'm telling him, like, hey, I'm willing to do everything for you. The only thing that's really holding me back is this. If I need to drive there, have no place, have nowhere to be, you put me in a position to already be here. I've been in a position where I lived in my car when I first moved to New York, so that wasn't nothing. I know that I could conquer it, right? And I knew that I could find my way through it because the Most High has given me the opportunity to conquer everything, right? So that's my way of thinking. So there's another time where I get pulled over, and during this time, I'm not supposed to be getting pulled over because they already took out my license. Because when I first moved into Jersey, they sent me a notice saying, "Hey, you need to get an insurance in New York," and I wasn't there, right? So fast forward, I'm going into this court. I'm going to this courtroom, right? And I could just remember, like, praying to the Most High, like, please, like, you got to move for me, because at this point, like, whatever they say, they're going to take away my license and it's going to get suspended for 2 years. I'm not going to be able to drive down to you, right? How am I going to move? So I go into this courtroom and I'm just feeling so small, because this is what the world makes you feel when you don't abide by their laws, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm so nervous. I'm like, like, I don't want my license taken away. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna say to the judge. And I could just feel something in my spirit telling me, like, stop it. Stop. Believe for it then, right? And these words came from, yes, Uncle Andre, like, he said it before, but just the fact that they, came to my mind, and, like, in a way I rose up and I was like, the Most High got me. So I go up to the judge and they let me know, hey, you know what? We're not about to take your license away. We should, but we're not going to do it. So I go out. First thing I go out, all praises to the Most High. I call my baby. Hey, they didn't take away my license. Like, I can still go to, go see the family, go see the remnant. So that's another sign, right? Now, during this dream that I previously had, I knew that there was going to be a lot of situations, all these lions, right? A lot of situations that are going to hold me back from coming down here or just being remnant. But there was somebody that was going to come for me, and that was always there to protect me in a way, right? Fast forward, I come here, and there was something about those dogs that really felt fulfilling, to know that they were there and they had my back. So let me talk to you about my experience here in the Remnant,
Mm.
right? So
Mm.
when I first got here, actually, before I got here, I'm making my trip. I load up my car and I'm making my trip down here, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, there's nothing that can stop me because the Most High, you know that I'm coming for you. Like, I left my life for you, right? And I had to think about that because prior to even coming here, I was like, wait, am I really willing to die for God? Right? Like, is this really what I want to do? And I had to make that decision and be like, am I willing to die right now for him? I said, yes. So I left my life. And on the way down here, like, my tire, like I get a dash, I have a dashboard and it tells me like your tire went out or something. And my tire is just, like, I'm just like, I'm, you're gonna have to figure something out because there's no way I'm coming down here for you and you're gonna leave me stranded on the road coming from Jersey all the way to Seattle, right? So I pull up to this gas station and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put some air and then find out, like, look out for, an auto shop or something like that. Put gas on the air. Put air on the tire, and I leave. Had no issues after that, and I felt like he was just testing me, So now my experience coming here down to the Remnant, it just happened so fast. Like, hey, we're gonna be in class. Come join us. Okay. So the first thing I walk into the room, into the home, and everybody's like, "Come here, boy, come here!" Like, and it was like just looking back to it, like it was a very unique experience to me because, like, you gotta understand, like, being in the military, we're taught to be, in a way, killers, right? We're not really like everything that we do, how we move in the military is like we don't care about your feelings, right? We don't care. And learning, game or girls or whatever, I was told to be cold. Like, you gotta be cold with a woman, like, be about yourself and say how it is. And besides that, right, life has happened to me. I had to, like, seclude myself. I have to be about myself. I have to protect myself. So, just having that energy, come here, give you a hug. I'm like, whoa, yo, you're doing too much, right? Like, in my mind. But you know what? That's what I came for, right? That's what I came for. And give a hug, and it just felt different. It felt different. And you see us hugging, right? Like, this is the love that we have for each other, right? And just as the days went by, like, I think about myself and how, through the Most High we have love for each other. And I'm just like, all right, I gotta correct myself because I can't have this thinking about, you're touching on the other man and, like, hugging another man or anything like that. Just come join your family. And that family part, I recently had a phone call with my mother, and I had already told her, like, this is what I'm about to do. And beforehand, I had already told her, like, this is what I'm doing. Like, I'm moving in faith. I don't know where I'm going. I can stay in my car. I have no issues with that, right? This is what I'm doing. So she's like, so who are these people? Like, what Bible are they reading, right? Like, who are they? And you know what? Like, I really felt a type of way about that. like I paused because I didn't want to be rude or anything. And my simple response was, they're my family, right? And I really do I feel like this, man, like all this hugging stuff. Now I'm just like, yo, I'm embracing my brother, right? And like, it's beautiful to be here. You need to come here. You need to be here. I wondered about that before even coming here. I was like, why are they always hugging each other, man? Like, can't they just dab each other? That's it. Like, I wondered. And the same way you're probably wondering, right? So, just sharing a little bit about today. I go into I wanna show up for the Most High. Like, I'm really feeling that I came here for a purpose, for Him, for Remnant, for my family, right? And I want to feel like that. So I'm looking forward to every Wednesday to build my suits, right? So you saw me the first day.
That's
You saw me the
right.
first
That's right.
day, right? You saw me the second day, and it was different, right? And today it's different. And there's this auntie at the and I know you're watching. I know you're watching, right? Auntie, like, I be going so excited to auntie. I'm like, auntie, you gotta help me with this suit. Like, help me out. I want to show out. I want to show up for the Most High. And yeah, like the money, man, forget about that, And we was talking about how, I felt like she was Remnant, like the way she was talking, right? And I leave, and I'm like, hold on. Like, before that, we was talking, and I'm like, auntie, are you in class? Like, she's like, oh no, I just like to see, I was really wondering about this class that you guys had about a few days ago, and I've been wanting to see it. I'm like, get in class, right? She's like, oh, I will eventually. Okay. So I leave, and I was like, wait, she wants to get in class. So, man, let's go back. So I go back into the store, and I'm like, auntie, you know what? You said you want to go in class. I'm going to pay for your class. Like, don't worry about it. I'll pay for it. She's like, oh, really? Yeah, thank you, and so on and so forth, right? So for you wondering about the classes, for you wondering about the signs like I did, auntie, this is your sign to come to the Remnant. Wow. This is your sign, auntie. Come on, come to family. Right? For you watching and you're wondering, this is your sign too. This is your sign. Come join us. Get in class. It's time. Get in class. Let's go.
Oh, praise
Yeah.
All praises. Big rock fire yellow. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Oh, thank you.
Let me see this real quick. Come on, cross. So let me just say real quick, just cover this. Our history book says the only way that they as everybody outside the remnant, will know that you are my disciples. In other words, the only way that they will see a significant change, something different from them in us, is our love one for another. Mm-hmm. Right? So that is why we embrace each other. This is why we love each other, because we're representing what he said would be as a sign to all those out there outside of us. Yes, sir. Because really they taught us to hate one another. That's why we kill one another the way we do. Mm-hmm. So it's the opposite of this culture, right? And no matter how anybody feels about love and they think that it's weak, well, the scripture declares that God is love. Mm. So you think God is weak. Mm. All praises.
Okay. Let's see. We require a sign. I just want to talk about I just want to talk about the information, right? I guess just go over some reflecting I'll be doing in the information, right? I was working the other day. Something that came to my mind was how I hunger and thirst for the information, right? And it's like and I focus on hungering and thirsting, right? It's like the information in me is requiring the information, right? The word in me is requiring the word, right? The information is hungering for the information, right? So it's like well, so while I was working, I'm reflecting, right? And I'm doing something that the Most High instructs us to do, right? Which is examine yourself and make sure that you are fit for the kingdom, right? And this is something that I'm doing, right? So I'm just reflecting. I'm going over my experiences. I'm going over things that I have gone through. I'm looking at different circumstances and situations and conditions that I have been in, right? And that I have been, and that the Most High has pulled me out of, right? I'm looking at people, however challenging they may have been, that I had to deal with and interact with in my life, right? And seeing that they could not be, they were not able to separate me from what the Most High had planned for me, right? I'm looking at these circumstances, these people, these situations, and as I'm looking and I'm reflecting, right? As I'm looking and I'm reflecting, and talking to the Most High about these different circumstances and situations He's delivered me from, right? It's like something Dre said. He start just confirming, right, the authenticity of the information to me, right, which I already knew, right? But while I'm examining myself and looking over my life and looking at what the Most High has allowed me to overcome and conquer by way of the information, right, this is my sign. You hear me? The information playing out the way that it's being broken down to me is my sign, right? The information, looking at my life and looking at the results of my life and seeing that in them results are seeing that I see the way the information has explained to me it would play out in the results of my life is my sign, right? I'm on the right track right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the right thing. This thing is working out the way the Holy Ghost then came and broke it down and said that it would work out, right? When it come to people, circumstances, situations, conditions, have not nothing come. I have when I look back, I was telling Dre earlier, when I look back, all I see is me whooping them. Right? All I see is the information tearing down everything that have come up against me, everything I had to stand against, any and everything that has positioned itself against me, defeated. Right? In my own life, right? These confirmations, this information, this evidence is not just flowing from testimonies and from things that Dre has shared with us that he's overcome. These confirmations, this evidence that this thing worked is flowing from my own life, from my own experience. Hold on, man. All right. Yeah, these confirmations, this evidence, right? These things are flowing from my own life, right? It's flowing from my own experience, my own experiences. It's flowing from the things that I have personally conquered, right? So as I examine myself and I go through it, these are the things that I need to see for me, right? Because I need to know through my own life, through my own experience. I love hearing about Dre. You know what I'm saying? Like Dre be saying, oh, what you did for them was good. But what you gonna do for me? You know what I'm saying? So I love hearing about Dre, right? I love hearing about what he done conquered, what he's overcome, what he done smashed through. I gotta smash through though. You know what I'm saying? I need that evidence in my own life, right? I need to see this thing manifest for me. I need to see it work for me. I need to see my enemies at the bottom of the soles of my feet too, not just Dre's. I need them on mine. You hear me? I need that. So the Most High has blessed me, and that's the wealth of examining yourself, right? And making sure that you are fit for the kingdom. That's how you benefit. That's the wealth of the examination, right? You get to look at your life and see that that thing is working the way that the Most High has said it will work. All praises. Get busy.
Good evening, Remnant, and everybody on the screen. So, just want to let you all know, for the women that are in the chat tonight, that next week, all of the Remnant women will be up here, and we'll be speaking on. We'll be having our own class, pretty much. We'll be having our own class. So, we'll be coming up with topics with what to talk about. You know, it'll really be a blessing just knowing each of us having our stories of what we come through and what we come from, you know, because me personally, when I reflect on, you know, on my past and how I once operated and where I am today, is definitely a blessing, and definitely feel freed and relieved, you know. So just want to let you ladies know that we have that to look forward to next week. So yeah.
Nobody told you to take that off. Nobody told you to take that off. What you about to do? You taking that off?
I was about to sit down, but
I didn't say you to sit down. I purposely be messing with her all the time. Purposely. You like, huh? What? Key is next, right?
you already will.
Who's next? Oh, okay. I just wanted to mess with her for a minute, that's all.
You had me come up here.
I did that to you?
I was eating my spaghetti. You brought the microphone to me, so
And you handled it, huh?
I did.
All right, be good. Come on, remain thorough. Thank you, baby. Thank you for sharing. Look at this guy be cut up, man. Look. Hey, man, the man be keeping me pressing, man. Look at him, man. Give me a little signature, man.
Y'all see what's going on,
Remain
man.
thorough around this joint.
I'll be brief. I'll pray to the Most High. I just want to give a shout out to my mom. Of course, you guys know she's in her cancer battle.
Hey, how you gonna connect it?
Check. Yeah, as you guys know, she's fighting her cancer battle, right? She just finished 16 rounds of chemo. That's like the worst part of cancer. And now she's cancer free, right? I'll praise us for that. And now she is about to embark on
21 rounds of radiation, I believe, and which is like another 5 to 6 months. And you know, she she had an understanding that after chemo, the process will be over, right? And of course, cancer doesn't work like that, right? There's procedures, there's certain processes she must go through. You know, she still got to eat clean, she got to fast, you know, eat her fruits and veggies and stuff. You know, she's still messing around with swine and all kind of stuff like that. Yeah, I'm putting you out there. I know you're gonna see this, right? So, the good thing is that she has been taking in the information, and by her belief, um, I want her to realize her own strength, her own power, her own resilience, because she's been in class, right? I want her to understand that she can also pull from within and not look to me so much to give her some kind of spoken word, right? Because she's a warrior. A lot of people don't make it through chemotherapy. And I want her to know I love her, I support her. You know, I'm always rock with her regardless of her circumstances, right? She's lost all her hair. She got a baldy scaldy now, you know what I'm saying? And it's cute though, right? It's cute, man, right? And yeah, so I'm in good spirits. You know, mom is in good spirits. And I just want to praise the Most High for that, right? And as far as my pops, he's been dealing with his own ailments. He was recovering from heart surgery, um, dealing with high blood pressure. About a month ago, he suffered a brain aneurysm. And the brain aneurysm came from stress, worry. You know, my dad got a bunch of kids. We all grown, but, you know, there might be certain things he wasn't able to do as a father, right? So that probably still bothers him. But, you know, I don't hold no grudges based on the things that he couldn't do, right? And due to his stress, he suffered a stroke, right? And I believe the right side of the brain is what controls the left side of the body. The left side of the brain is what controls the right side of his body. So the right side of his body ended up being paralyzed. He lost all feeling in his arms and legs, lost his ability to speak. But nurses ended up calling me a couple weeks ago, picking me up to speed, letting me know what's going on. And about 2 weeks went by, right? He called me yesterday morning, and he was just in good spirits, you know. And I thought it was, you know, his lady friend calling me back because I had reached out to her, no answer. So I was getting a little concerned. And when the phone rang, I picked it up, and he was like, "Yo, what going, son?" Like, "What's up, Pop?" You know what I'm saying? And just to hear his voice, you know, not being able to speak to him how I usually would, you know, just to see how the Most High is working based on the information that's in me, you know, that communal love, that apostolistic love that spreads out, right? That um, omnipresent net that my brother Joe always speaks about. You know, my parents are covered with and through me as long as they believe and know what's going on, right? And yeah, you know, he he started laughing. He was like, "You know, you owe me some money, right?" Because his birthday just passed September 12th, and I was like, "Dude, that's what you calling me about, man?" Like, but it was just good to just have some dialogue with my pops, see that he's in good spirits, and see that this information works wonders, right? And I just wanted to share that with y'all, be a little intimate, be a little transparent, because I've been that way from the start. And I thank you guys for all your support. Be blessed.
Hello, everybody. My name is Janet. And so I remember when the Wednesday night meetings were starting, Dre had asked people to come and share their, their experience in the relief doctrine. And there was so many people that came up. The ladies also came up and shared their story. So at that time, I was in Arizona. So obviously I wasn't in town. And it was just so motivating to hear everybody. And so now that I'm here in Washington, I feel like I need to share my story or my relief doctrine, how I got into it, or just what it's done for me, especially just looking back in my life and then figuring out, oh, okay, that's why, the answer, what do we say? The answer is in the why, you know, why things happen, and just reflecting on the inside, because this is an inside out thing, not outside in. We could look good and all that, but how's your inside looking? So for me, like, obviously I'm just gonna share just something, brief, because I could be here forever. um for me, the relief doctrine and just the how the Holy Spirit worked in me. I was struggling a lot with, I like my inner child, and I've shared this briefly before, but not to full extent or detailed. Because I just thought it was private. I didn't feel like sharing it, but we're all family, and so, and it's not just for me. I had a conversation with D, and he said our testimonies aren't just for us, it's for everybody out there, because what we go through is not just us, like we're the only ones that are going through this. There's millions of people going through the same thing, and so I want to let people know out there that I hear you. I'm here. I've gone through the same things that you probably have or are going through or whatever, and for me, it was, when I was really young, I was molested as a child. And so that, you know, how can I say it? I didn't know that it was wrong at that time, and it took a long time for me to finally get over it. Let me step back. It took this relief doctrine to get over it, because it wasn't just, it wasn't, it wasn't something that, as you get older, it just goes away. No, it keeps attacking you in the inside, making you feel like either you're not good enough, or, something's wrong with you. And finally, I don't want to cry, but just in case, because I don't want to feel like, and I don't want it to be like, woe me, woe me. No, this is not a pity thing, it's a, I'm standing up and conquering thing, And so that happened. And then as I got older, I didn't think that there was nothing wrong with that. I got older, when it stopped, because it was happening for a while with a family member. Then I felt like it was something with me. And like, did I do something wrong? Why isn't it happening anymore? Again, didn't know it was wrong. And so that caused, like, as a kid, a depression, and I was like, now thinking back on it, how can a kid be depressed? And so how I handled my depression as a child was food. I made food my God. If I'm happy, I ate. If I'm angry, I ate. If I'm sad, I ate. Anything, food made me happy. Food was just, give it to me. I want it, And so after a while, getting older, I was like, you start looking at yourself. I'm like, no, I'm kind of getting a little chunky. Let me get it together, And this is like middle school, high school, And so after that had happened, I was like around middle school, when my mom's boyfriend had, also touched me inappropriately when I was younger, but he called it just tickling, He only did it once, but that's enough. Again, I didn't know it was wrong, so I didn't tell nobody. And it's crazy because I'm telling y'all right now, and I've never said it to anybody, like family, family members, but you guys, like I said, you guys are family. So, and I want this to be also a thing where, it's okay to talk about this and get that relief, get it up off of you, So, like I said, my mom's boyfriend, he did that. I got older. I found out in school what happened to me was wrong. Not from family, not from nobody, from school. So I just took that with me. I'm like, again, I felt something in me where it was like, okay, I'm dirty, I'm this, I'm that. I just didn't love myself. So I got older, I'm a teenager now, I'm developing. And my mom's boyfriend goes upstairs. Me and my sister had a room upstairs, and there was a bathroom. And I was just shaving my legs, I'm a teenager, I'm shaving my legs. So awesome. And he's looking for me to ask me something, and he sees that I'm shaving my legs, and he says a comment saying, "Oh, where else are you growing hair?" Excuse me? Okay. I already knew then, yeah, that's inappropriate. Why are you asking me that? And then he also said another comment, saying, well, an old dog could teach a new dog tricks. I was like, oh yeah, this dude is funny. He's gonna try to do something with me, And so from there, I just didn't want to be home because I thought this guy is gonna do something funny. He might try to bust in my room. I was sleeping with my door locked, because I'm like, he might try to rape me. Everything was going in my head. I just didn't want to be home. And so after years and years of dealing with this and then getting in this information, because I've gone to church. My uncle was a pastor. I was going to church every Sunday and Wednesday. That didn't do nothing for me, But once I got into this information, I started finally realizing, oh, okay, as an adult, I'm doing things that I'm still being attached to as a little girl. I need that emotional attachment to go away. I need to get that off of me. And one day I remember just talking to the Holy Spirit, talking to the Most High, and he gave me that information of, you need to let that inner child of you go. Quit feeling sorry for her. She's not you no more. She's a child, and you are a woman. Are you going to be that woman, that wise woman that builds her home up? Are you still going to be that child that's going to tear it down? So I was like, dang, nowhere else could I have gotten that Holy Spirit telling me this, because I really, really yearned for the information and wanted to let it get up off of me. But how? This information. It's a relief doctrine. You will be relieved from your pain, from you think that something that happened to you that hasn't happened to someone else. Our ancestors went through it. It ain't nothing new. So you gotta get up off your shoulders, off of you, like, don't touch me. That's, yeah, we ain't going through that no more. No more woe me. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Just something brief, not too much, but that's something that I can honestly say that the relief doctrine has helped me in, and just conquering it. You know, the enemy will see the soles of our feet, right? Yeah. Underneath these red bottoms. Don't play. You know? But that's it. That's all I got.
The camera needs to see that. Show that love.
Y'all have no idea how long I've waited for her to come out and share these things right here with the world. It's a lot for a woman to go through, for a woman to go through these kind of things and carry on through her life, holding on to that. You know, it's a lot of women out there in the world. It's a lot of you men out there in the world who have a woman in your life right now not knowing any of this about her, right? I know this to be extremely true, even with my mother and father. You know, my dad that raised me since I was 2. And again, I won't go into detail. If my mom ever does see this, she'll know what I'm talking about. That I was able, as I got older and developed in the information and learned to not allow individuals to talk mess about prior situations, but still look into the past of things they've gone through to help them overcome current character flaws, right? My dad didn't have that. Everything was mashed forward. You know, forget the past, keep pressing forward. And so as I got older, I recognized things my mother would do in a relationship with my father. Things she would do to purposely self-sabotage. Like she said, that little girl, right? That foolishness, right? The scripture says, when I was a boy, when I was a child, I thought like a child, I acted like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I grew up and became a man, I put away childish things. That same thing applies across the board for a woman, right? That very same thing. As you grow up, you put away those childish things and you think and reason and operate like a woman. And so, like I was saying earlier, it's an honor to be in the presence of this, right? It's an honor. It's a gift given by the Most High. So I had a conversation with my dad and I told him, I said, you know, a lot of the things that used to happen in your relationship with you and my mother, they didn't have to happen. If you just would have stopped, took some time, asked some questions, cared a little more, loved a little more, did the things that the Most High created us to do, right? He's very smooth with us. He took his time with us, right? He created us in his image, in the image of the Holy Spirit, in the image of the Son and Yahushua. I was having a conversation with some Muslim brothers, and they work on my cars, and they were telling me that they don't believe in the Trinity and stuff. And I was telling them, I said, well, and he kept calling me a Christian, and he's been calling me a Christian for about 2 years, right? And I said to him, okay, I said, let's entertain this Christian thing. He said, yeah, well, Christians don't believe that Jesus is God's son, right? Or he said Christians believe that the only way to get to God is through Jesus, right? And I said, I don't think that even Christians necessarily believe that. I don't think that they necessarily believe that. I said, do you guys believe? I know you don't believe that he's God's son, but do you believe that Jesus was the most prolific prophet to ever exist? And they said yes. There was a couple of them. I said, okay. So that means that you believe that he brought the greatest message. He said, yes. I said, so what's the fastest way to get from point A to point B? And he said, a straight line. I said, so if Yahushua, Jesus, brought the greatest message, why would I follow any other message? Why would I not want to take the best path? To me, and maybe Christians don't necessarily understand this, maybe some of them do, but I know this remnant does. Why would I go any other way other than the best way, right? I said, maybe that's a misconception that you guys are having about Christians thinking that the only way to get to God is through Jesus. It's through the message that he brought. It's the best way, right? It's not the only way, and he's not the end all to be all. He's one of our ancestors, one of our ancestors. All this information that she just shared, all this relief doctrine, he was one of the ones that came to bring deliverance along with Moses and Solomon and David and Abraham and so many others in our culture. And we're able to look back into our history, like she said, and see the things that our ancestors have gone through, even worse atrocities than some of us could ever imagine. We're just reading about it. We're reading about what they experienced, right? You reading about it doesn't trump the experience. So then we're talking about the Holy Ghost. And I said, you guys believe that the Most High created us in his image, but you don't believe in the Trinity. I said, do you have a spirit? And they said, yes. He said, do all humans have spirits? They said, yes. I said, so how come the Most High can't have a spirit? If he created us in his image and you believe that, why wouldn't he have a spirit? Why wouldn't he be able to communicate to us and touch us in that area, in that space in our life that nothing else really can? And he said, I know what you're getting at. I said, I know you do, but that's for you to worry about later. See, when the Most High delivers these things down, when he sends the word out, when he sends the message out, if you are someone who is operating not just at the level of belief, but knowing that your God loves you, it does give you that relief. It does give you that confidence to get up and share with the world the things that you never thought you'd be able to share, the things that made you feel alone for so long, the things that make you feel lost even in a room, in a crowd of people. But I'm sure you've heard before in the remnant, I know I've heard my uncle say it, you won't find the Most High in the crowd. You won't find him in the crowd. This is a one-on-one with me and my God, her and her God, everyone in here and your individual God. That's what makes the culture so beautiful. That's what separates us. Everyone here. Who said it? I think Cavassier. It's like everyone here is their own nation, right? Everyone here is governing over something so much greater than them, greater than themselves, governing over the very thing that helped you get over those hurdles in your life, that allowed you to be transparent with things that are extremely hard, that you feel like hindered you in your life at some point, allowing the curse to be turned into a blessing, right? Giving you that full power, that full authority that only the love of the Most High could give. So that's where we at. We here, popping out, whether it be going in, stomping, raising our voice, you know what I'm saying? Playing the guitar like Kavase be up here playing, you know what I'm saying? Speaking smoothly, whatever that looks like. This is what gives every individual in here the authority to pop out and let the world know this is me and my God. Me and my God.
I love you, babe. I'm let you go.
So every Wednesday, same time, same place. We'll love it if you catch us in person. We'll love it if you catch us in person. If not, hey, we're only here for a short while. You know what I'm saying? Next Wednesday will be the first Wednesday of the month. Special. The women will be hosting the class. Right? They're going to take over and pop out on them. It will be a ladies' class. The men, I'm sure, will get up and be able to speak and share testimonies but this will be a woman-led class, right? And we want to make this thing a regular thing, right? We want to make this a consistent thing, right? Because just like we work on the men, we also wash our women in the word, and they are heavy. Put them on that scale and see what it weigh, right? More than yours ever could. Yep. Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube or live in person. Go to www.theremnant.world to get the information. If you want to eat, get your ticket so we know you're coming. Mondays and Fridays on YouTube, paid classes, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Tuesday on Instagram, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Thursdays on OnlyFans, 7 p.m. Pacific time. All classes are heavy. These Wednesdays are just a snippet, right? More than those little clips y'all just be staring at and don't always even be listening to. Just be looking at the suits and the flyness and the beauty, right? Get in class, right? I'm not going to twist your arm to get your relief. We got ours, right? We got ours. We love y'all. Hope you have a good evening and represent Remnant everywhere you go.